Welcome back. We are live on the 5 on Your Side app. Thanks for joining us. Figure skating may feel like a modern Olympic spectacle, but its roots stretch back thousands of years. And that history is on display right here in St. Louis. What a treat. Show Me St. Louis's Malik Wilson joins us this morning with Bev Thurber, a former figure skater and coach, now a skating judge and historian. Malik, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Paul and Tissel crew. It's always a good time to hang out with you guys early in the morning. I mean, I feel like I'm juiced up and ready to go, not because I'm with you guys per se, but because the U.S. figure skating is here in St. Louis after 20 years. The energy is up. I mean, I'm sure you guys can possibly hear the music behind us. They're down there practicing the choreography and whatnot. But we have our friend Bev Thurber, who is a former skater, historian, multiple degrees, and just a whole multitude of things, traveled down here from Chicago to share a bit of history with us here in St. Louis. And so we are so grateful for you to be with us this morning. So let's start with a bit of information that you just kind of broke to me. Is 50 years since figure skating has, well, not figure skating itself, but ice dancing itself has made its way to the Olympic stage. And so let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on the show. So ice dancing became an Olympic sport in 1976. Figure skating itself was actually the first Winter Olympic sport. It started in the Olympics in 1908, but then there was a little break and it didn't get back until 1920. But it was just singles and pairs then. So singles is where you just have one person, pairs is where you're doing all the lifts and throws. Ice dancing took longer to come in. There were exhibitions of ice dancing. It was an exhibition sport in 1948 and 1968, but it didn't become an official Olympic sport until 1976.
Wow, that is incredible, incredible. And I know that we were also talking a little about what actually folks are looking at when they're down on the, well, when they're in the stands watching the folks down there on the ice. So we have short programs and we have long programs. Break down what the difference is between both.
So in the short program is shorter, and there's a list of elements that the judges want to see. So those elements are set every year. The International Skating Union, U.S. Figure Skating passes them on to the skaters. And so they're scored on, you know, do they do those elements? And then the long program is much longer. And in there, the skaters have more flexibility to do, you know, what they want to. There's still elements that they're expected to show, and, you know, they kind of know what they need to do to be competitive. But they have more freedom, and of course, it's longer, so it gives them more scope for creativity in their choreography.
Definitely. And you being a skater yourself, I mean, what is the intensity like down on the ice? I mean, you know, doing all of these choreographies while skating and trying to keep your balance. How hard is that?
Yeah, it's hard. And that's, you know, these skaters have trained for years.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to develop that balance and that control. I see a lot of young skaters moving up. You know, they're getting from just getting started up till, you know, they're really good. And I really enjoy seeing the skaters progress from beginners to experts. And you can really see, you know, as soon as they step on the ice, you can sort of see, yeah, this person's brand new or this person's been skating for years.
Definitely. And I know you like to focus on the early skaters in your career, and I know you have a book as well called A History, Skates Made of Bone, A History.
Yes, I do.
Dive us into that, and in a bit we'll talk about the stage here, but let's talk about that book and what that entails.
Okay, so that book was about bone skates, which are the earliest ice skates. I've got some over here. This one is medieval, and those two over there are ones that I made. But the history of bone skates goes back, you know, about 4,000 years. They were probably invented in the Eurasian steppes, and yeah, there was a different technique though. So these were leg bones of horses and cows.
Wow.
And people would, those are cow bones.
And they used this stick to move around.
Yeah, so you would just take these and put them under your feet. You didn't have to tie them on.
Wow.
Because you didn't lift your feet off the ice. So you would put them under your feet and then take the stick and push yourself along, like the guy in the picture.
Good example here.
Yeah. And I can tell you that from my experience using these, they slide really well.
Okay.
Forwards, backwards, and sideways.
Just like that. And back then, I know it was a lot of work that was being used with the ice. But here in a bit, we're going to give you guys some more. You guys want to stay tuned, because in about 15 or so minutes, we're going to take you guys into a deeper dive and even some rich St. Louis history of skates that were made right here in our backyard. But Paul, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio, and we're going to enjoy some of the ice skating that's happening down on the ice with some of the pros going on right now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, great job, Malik. Oh, what an interview. Bone skates. How about that? I got to try that at some point.